Hello, welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Horizon. I am your host, Tabea Zoe, and in this episode, I want to discuss with you how I anchor in what I feel emerging and how I handle feeling the future in the moment. If you have listened to my podcast for a while, or you are in my containers, or you follow me on Instagram, you know that I talk about a higher consciousness, a new paradigm in a very poetic way because it is very abstract. I do not want to frame it in a way where it could be mistaken. This weekend, I listened to 2 podcasts, and I do not want to name them because I don't really want to recommend them. One was about astrology and the other one was about human design. And in both of them, they talked about the shifts that are happening. And in both of them, they really discussed, okay, this is exactly what is happening. This is certain. This is the prophecy that the new paradigm is coming in 2027, or like in human design, that's the prophecy. And in astrology, these are the changes, how the planets are changing. This is why all of these changes are happening. And when I listened to that, I thought it is so easy to get hooked into systems and schools of belief that give you that feeling of stability when it's not what you are sensing yourself. I do sense that a new paradigm is coming. I do sense that we are rising in consciousness. I love to look at astrology and I love human design as one input, but my own sensation of the future is more important. And I am careful with looking too much at outside sources for authority, because that will, one, give you a false sense of stability and certainty, and secondly, disconnect you from your own feeling, your own intuition. When I talk with people about the rise in consciousness or this feeling of energetic shifts, everybody can sense it. Everybody can feel right now that there is this heaviness in our collective consciousness. Everybody can feel that there is this unease right now. Everybody can feel that there's another shift coming. And when you look back at the past 2 or 3 years, like since I have started to publicly talk about my sensation of our collective consciousness, I was met with so much resonance that other women are feeling it too. They all sense these energetic shifts in our collective consciousness. But then they ask me, what does it mean to rise in consciousness? What does it mean what we are stepping into? What is it exactly? What is the new paradigm? What will happen after the shift? I feel that something is coming. What will happen? It is easy to look for certainty in the future when you already sense something is coming. But we do not need that. And instead of talking about the astrological shifts or a prophecy of human design, when I want to discuss, and the whole reason for this podcast is to discuss the shifts in the energetic and how we consciously create the future right now. We do not need to know what is coming beyond the horizon to step into it now. There are 2 truths simultaneously. One is that there is this major movement already happening in our collective consciousness that we sense as shifts in the energetic. And the other truth is that we consciously create a future. When we buy into, for example, a prophecy of this is when exactly it is happening, this is what will occur, or this will look this certain way, we limit our own capacity to consciously create what we want to see. And we still give our own power away to a higher order or a higher system instead of anchoring in that deeper wisdom that comes from within, that deeper power that lives within. We do not need to know what is beyond the horizon to anchor into the future that we want to see in the future right now. And I know this is difficult to hold because we want that certainty when we are moving into uncertain territory. Let's take a personal example to make this collective sensation and movement more tangible. Because what we experience individually is what is happening collectively. The best way I can describe this whole sensing the future as it emerges and still being detached from the outcome is when there is a manifestation just around the corner. You have set an intention, you have moved with your manifestation, you have done the inner work and overcome the limiting beliefs that block that manifestation from coming into your field. There is this moment, there is this pause, there is this moment before a manifestation comes in where you sense it, where you sense that it is so close, but it's not there yet. You can already sense it in the energetic realm while it hasn't manifested in your physical, tangible reality yet. You feel it, you feel the future, but it's not there yet. And so many people will now take on the control. Like in that moment in between, in that pause where you sense something but nothing is happening and it seems like there's a standstill, what we often go to is trying to control. Let's make a plan. Let's make a prophecy for what is happening. Let's make rules for how we get there. But actually in that moment in between, in uncertainty, when you are in the unknown and you feel something energetically and it hasn't manifested yet, it is the moment to surrender even deeper into trust. It is the moment to say, like, I am in co-creation with the universe, with the divine, and I have done my part. Now it is up to you, divine. Now it is up to you, universe. Now it is up to everything else to rearrange around what I have set in motion. It is already in motion. There's nothing else to be done. You distract yourself with the plan that you make. You distract yourself with making the prophecy come true. A prophecy is not something that you make happen. The miracle of a prophecy is that you predict something happening in the future and then it miraculously comes true. But if you plan for it and you make rules around it and you set a time for when exactly it needs to happen, you mess up the miracle. You don't leave any space for the miracle to happen. When you make rules and a plan and then you take action to make that future happen with force, later on you will not say, wow, it was a miracle. Later on you will not say, wow, everything conspired in my favor. You will say, I made it happen. I followed the step-by-step plan that I had set out. It is no luck, it is no co-creation because I did all the creation myself. When you sense a manifestation around the corner, when you sense your spirit baby in the realm around you, it is about trusting and connecting to it and opening up to receive it, much more than it is about taking those steps. The inner work and the action towards what you want to manifest, of course, is part of the process. But in that moment, right before, when you feel it already, that's not the time to hustle and grind towards the manifestation. And the same goes for sensing the energetic shifts in our collective consciousness. You feel it, you move through it. And of course, we want to anchor in that vision for the future. This is the one half of consciously creating it. And the other half is trusting it is coming, it is happening. The future that we desire is on its way. We can already sense the movement of energy towards that future. What we do right now to anchor it in is moving with the moment. Moving with what this moment needs. Trusting in what is emerging. Trusting in what lies beyond the horizon and moving with it right now. In this podcast, I want to discuss how we can lead into a future, how we can take on the responsibility for that conscious creation right now, how we can move in higher consciousness in general. I want to discuss what do we see in the future, what do we want to see in the future, how do we create it? But the foundation for it all is the trust in sensing the emerging and still staying present with what is happening right now. In this way, you hold the contradiction between the energetic and the tangible, one foot in each reality. You hold the future, what you already sense emerging, by sensing it, by connecting to it again and again, by feeling into the future, feeling into the collective shifts on one hand, and not pushing it to be manifested right now, but holding it in the energetic, being an anchor for it in the energetic. I believe in you. I trust in you. I know that you are coming. I know that this vision is coming alive. And in the physical, in this tangible reality, moving with whatever is presented right now. You need to allow yourself to move with the movements, to move with the currents of life, to move with the energetic shifts. You are not separate from a collective. You are the collective. These past few days, I really felt this intense density and heaviness in a collective consciousness. And I felt it within myself. On one hand, I can differentiate, okay, this is something that I'm tapping into energetically, and this is something that is within me. But the thing is, when I sense it, it resonates. So anytime that I sense a collective shift, it is because it also lives within me. And my part in this whole thing is to sense it and to not separate myself from the collective heaviness, for example, but to release the heaviness within myself, to come into love for myself again, so that it can ripple out into the collective consciousness as well. This is how we influence the shifts. The major movement that you sense is the major movement that is within you, that is happening for you right now. Yes, let's hold a vision. Let's consciously create a reality, a collective reality, our future. Let's sense what is emerging. Let's sense into the future, what lies beyond the horizon. And let's be here now. When I look back at this time, I do not want to look back at a moment where I closed myself off from what I was feeling. I want to be part of the miracle creation. I want to say that I did my part in the co-creation, and that still it was a miracle how it came to be. I want to look back at this time and say, I believed in a miracle. I believed in something greater beyond the horizon, and I was one of the anchors for it to come into reality. I did not just sense the energetic and move in the energetic field and tap into tap into the spiritual realm and stay there. I want to be a channel, I want to be a bridge, I want to be an anchor for what I sense emerging. And this is what it means to lead into it, to go by example, to be an example of love, to be a vessel for the divine to work through, and to move with the movement. Okay, my love, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Let me know what you think. You can message me. You can leave a review or a comment down below. I would love to hear from you how you sense this shift in energy, what you sense right now as emerging in a collective consciousness, and how you lead into it. And I want to invite you to live open-heartedly right now, to feel it all, and to really open yourself up to move as one with life. If you want to dive deeper into this work of moving in energetic alignment as one with life and anchoring deeper into your own truth and your own sensation for the energetic and your own soul, I highly recommend joining the Creative Waters Way. It is about to reopen in the beginning of March, and you can now leave your email on the website so that I message you directly when I'm opening up the space again. I am right now reworking it, reiterating this evolving library of wisdom and creating an even better 2.0 version of this whole space. When it is ready to open up for you, I want to message you directly and invite you into it. I would love to have you there. that is it for today. Until next time, bye.